It is difficult to predict how many more casualties will be needed to end this war. I believe that we must do this, inflict casualties on Russian forces, every day until the conflict ends, until the enemy gives up, Chief of the General Staff of Ukraine Valery Zaluzhny said at the meeting. A press conference on December 26. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has entered its 23rd month and shows no signs of abating, and has even turned into a long war of attrition. While Kiev claimed to have caused Moscow great losses, Russia said that Ukraine suffered much greater losses and that Kiev's counterattack was over. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said last week that Ukraine has lost more than 383,000 soldiers since Russia began its special military operation. He also emphasized that the main goal of the Russian army in 2023 is to prevent Ukraine's counterattack, and the Russian army has accomplished this goal. However, Ukrainian officials are signaling that the country's military is preparing for a new counterattack campaign. Chief of the General Staff Zaluzhny said yesterday that the war situation in 2024 will be different from 2023 because Kiev will have a change in combat tactics. We have identified the existing problems and found about 90% of the solutions to these problems. Our partners agree with us. I guarantee next year will be very different. At the very least, we are doing everything to achieve that. Speaking at a rare press conference on December 26, Chief of the General Staff of Ukraine Valery Zaluzhny confirmed that Ukrainian forces had withdrawn from the city of Marinka west of Donetsk. He compared Ukraine's losses on this front in recent months with the losses Kiev suffered earlier this year on the Bakhmut front. The situation is exactly the same as in Bakhmut. Every street, block and our soldiers became targets. This is a war, so it is important for us to retreat to the suburbs and establish positions in support of Marinka. In some areas there is nothing to complain about. War is like that, Mr. Zaluzhny said. The confirmation came shortly after Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu announced that Moscow had gained complete control of Marinka. Ukrainian officials initially rejected Russia's claim and said Ukrainian forces were continuing to fight inside Marinka's administrative borders. However, Mr. Zaluzhny said, the Ukrainian army is currently only active in the northern suburbs of the city. He emphasized that although every inch of land is important to Ukraine, the lives of soldiers are more important. Marinka is connected between the city of Donetsk and Zaporizhia province by the N15 highway, giving it a strategic role. Gaining control of Marinka means Russia can reduce the threat from Ukrainian shelling against Russian forces in the city of Donetsk. Marinka is one of the important links in Russia's plan to expand control in eastern Ukraine. Russian Defense Minister Shoigu announced yesterday that Russia has achieved the main goals of the special military campaign in Ukraine in 2023. According to Mr. Shoigu, Russia's main goal in 2023 is to prevent a counterattack by the Ukrainian armed forces. This mission has been completed, Minister Shoigu said. Kiev launched a new counter-offensive campaign in early June this year with the hope of achieving breakthrough results like last fall's counter-offensive. Kiev's main goal is to cut off the land corridor connecting the Crimean Peninsula with southern Ukraine and western Russia and divide enemy forces. However, Ukraine quickly admitted that the counter-offensive campaign did not achieve the expected results for a number of reasons, including the West's delay in handing over the weapons that Kiev needed. On the other hand, officials of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's administration rejected the idea that the war with Russia had reached a deadlock. Kiev claimed to have recaptured several villages and launched missile and drone attacks on the Crimean Peninsula, disrupting Russian logistics. In addition, Ukrainian forces also successfully crossed the front line on the Dnieper River.